Hey everyone, today I want to talk about the 3 add-ons and 2 Chrome extensions that I chose to explore during this unit. The first add-on that I chose to add to my Google Docs was the Speech Recognition Sound Writer. Now the reason why I chose this add-on was because I feel that it would make creating documents and worksheets go a lot faster for me. I personally feel that I can say something quicker and better than I could possibly write it. So it works really well for me. If you really like to type everything, then that's great, but I personally would rather just be able to speak it and it show up on my document. So for an example, I have some students who are trying to make up their combining like terms homework. So I don't actually have the homework because it was a third-party website assignment that has now closed, so I could create them another document, and an instruction that I could give them could be combine the following like terms. And it automatically just shows up. Again, I really like this because I do feel like I can say something better than I could possibly write it. Now, the first extension that I chose to use was one called Equate.io, and the reason why I chose to use that was because it really lets me enter in specific math concepts that I want into a Google document, which hasn't been super easy in the past. It also has a speech component, which I really like because I'm able to translate from the speech to the specific math concept that I want, and it just translates it exactly that I want it. So a problem that I could add to this combining like terms worksheet could be 3x squared plus 5y minus 2x squared plus 10 minus y. So I could check it over here, and it heard me say 1 instead of y, so I could click in there and change it to y, quick and easy, no problem, and then insert that math. You also have the ability to insert some graphs. If I wanted to take the time to learn how to write on a laptop, then I could, and it could recognize that. But again, I really like the speech component. I think that it would work very well for me and for my classroom. Now, the second add-on that I chose was a translator, and the reason why I chose that is because, as I've stated before in other assignments, our school has a very large English language learner population, and in that English language learner population, a lot of our students speak Spanish. And some of those students really don't speak any English and need the extra support and accommodation of having some of the instructions or word problems translated for them. And so what you would do, really simple, you would just highlight the instruction that you would want translated, copy it, and paste it into the translation box. Translate, and as you can see in the translation box, it has changed into a Spanish version of the instructions. And then once that's done, you can hit insert, and it switches out your English for your Spanish version. So if you're not wanting to make 2 separate documents, you can have your original document in English, save that, and then change all of your instructions to Spanish to support those students, and resave that as your Spanish version for future references. Again, I really like this. I do have a lot of students who need that added support, and I think that that would work very well for them. So I'm just going to add combining like terms back into the document. And while I do that, I want to talk about the next extension that I used, and the next extension that I chose was checkmark. And the reason why I chose that extension was because it allows me to plug in specific comments for the students. Any feedback that I want to give the students, then I can turn that into a very effective comment for them. So for instance, if they put combining the following like terms instead of combine, I could highlight combining, and up here it gives me some abbreviations of common errors that a student may make when writing, and the one I want to use is T, which represents tense. So I could click that, And off to the side, it's going to input a comment immediately letting the student know you didn't use the right verb tense here. It's quick and it's easy, and it really allows me to give quicker feedback to the students, more feedback to the students, and I can also adapt it to my specific needs. So, for example, I might want to add in the abbreviation SIMP to represent simplify, because a lot of my students, when we deal with fractions, miss points on their tests and quizzes because they don't simplify their fractions. So I do feel this would be an excellent tool in giving feedback to the students and letting them know why they made the mistakes that they did and how they could fix it in the future. And my last add-on that I chose to add was actually for my Google Slides, so I'm going to switch over to that. And it's called Pear Deck. And the reason why I chose that is because it lets me add in formative and assessment questions into a Google Slide. So if you are one who likes to use PowerPoints or Google Slides for your lessons, then this is the add-on for you, because it really allows you to add in questions and interactive assignments for your students, either beginning, during, or end of lesson. Now, the one that I have up here right now is during the lesson. And this just came from their slide library. It's just a library of pre-made slides that they already have ready for you to go. So I just went during the lesson, and I chose the text slide, which just allows me to change my question, and it lets me ask them to write down the steps to solve a specific type of problem. You could also use it for your warm-ups, or you could use it as a reflective exit ticket if that's what you want to do. And if none of the pre-made slides pique your interest, then you can scroll down and you have the opportunity to create your own question and then insert that into your PowerPoint as well. So those are all of the add-ons and extensions that I have added into my Google Docs and Google Slide. I think that they're going to be very useful in the future, and I hope to try to start using them more and more in my classes, and I hope you enjoyed this presentation.